All right, so greetings and welcome to our first episode of Shadows of Esteren. My name is Mark. I'm also known as GM Crom on Start Playing and various other websites, and I'm going to be your game leader for this session. With me, I have this group of mystery hunters ready to dive into the secrets of Tricazel. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves and the character you're playing.
I guess I'll go ahead and go first. Hey, everybody, I'm Griffin, and I'm playing Simon Baxter, the Continental Magus Scientist, who's a researcher from the university nearby. He is out to go ahead and find his missing mentor.
Yeah, then I will go then. I go by Lessons Learned 1 on Twitch. I'm playing Julius Aman, a noble occultist who lost his family in a fire and is obsessed with finding out why, and he believes that there is an occult reason behind it. So he's obsessive and basically trying to find the truth because the truth is out there somewhere.
Nice. Hi, I'm Fui, I guess, or Lachlan if you're so inclined. I'm playing as Alfie, a mercenary continental crossbowman who has signed up with this mystery expedition sponsored by the... I guess it's not Magister, is it?
Maginist.
Maginist, yes. And it's a bit of...
Fine.
Yeah. Has signed up as a bit of protection for this frail boy, but everything is not quite as it seems, and he's not really all there. So we'll figure out exactly what happened as we continue.
Alright, and I'm Rectus or Theta or whatever. I'm playing Dom Hollow and I'm a Demorthan. I don't know if I'm ever saying it right. Probably not. I don't speak Celtic.
That's fine.
I'm Tracazillion. I am a former noble, now a poor free wanderer who had the shit beaten out of him by the other noble family that took my family out, lost an eye, and now I'm on this trek too to make sure that these people don't ruin the environment. Also, other reasons. Well, I know that I'm also out to try and find the evil, or the selfish users of the power that I understand. But, you know.
Yeah, and then we'll get to those reasons now. So, we start in the city of Osterbile, an occult bookshop in a back alley in the lower parts, just near the docks. A sign has been put up in a window, and pacing the bookshop is a lone figure seeking answers. So, yeah, here we have Simon Baxter.
Hello.
So, how does Simon look?
I would probably say mostly like the picture that I chose for him, but he's probably very well tidy right now if he's in the city. His suit's full prim and proper. He's combed his mustache and everything. And he looks like he's probably ready to give a presentation anytime. He's holding a briefcase. He's looking good, but he's over here. What is he doing here?
Yeah, so he is here because this is kind of the spot that he's chosen to set up the expedition. Like, he couldn't really do it out of a tavern.
Mm-hmm.
And
wonderful, the meeting place.
Yeah, it's the meeting place. It's also a cult bookshop, so all kinds of people come into here.
Well, I mean, they might not believe the precise same things that I do, but that's perfectly fine. At least they have a sitting area.
Yeah.
Oh, also a little bit of drink too.
Yeah, true. So next we move to a lavish home, the house of a noble family. Illuminated by candlelight, we watch as a nobleman pores over an old occult tome. So this is Julius. How does Julius look?
He's tall, lanky, dark hair, in his early 20s, smoking profusely. One cigarette. There's nearby. As he paces in front of the bookcase, there's at least a full ashtray, and he basically is. When he finishes one cigarette, he paces back, grabs another, and lights it, and just goes back to reading. Just enthralled in what he's doing.
Okay. A figure in rags makes its way through the streets of Osterbile, leading a young woman wounded and torn in the torn clothes of a varigal. A bloody note is clutched in his hands. This is your character, Ractus.
Cool.
So how does he look?
Well, as already described, dirty and in rags. I mean, he has an eye patch as well. I mean, when we say dirty, I mean like mud coated for like months.
Yeah.
And maybe like the rain has washed bits of it away, but still what's caked on has stayed on. Otherwise,
Jeez.
imagine in your head a Mads Mikkelsen type look. Very angular, Danish.
Awesome. Okay. So, finally, we move to a mercenary sitting in a nearby inn, surrounded by laughter and drinking. He nervously watches the doorway, crossbow ever waiting at his side. This is Free's character,
Oh yeah.
Alfie.
He has his helmet on the table, which normally shades his eyes completely. But with it off, you can see his close cropped hair that seems to have been cut with a knife on the road, and not very well at that. He has several empty pewter flagons beside him, and even though his hand rests on his crossbow, it trembles slightly with the effect of the drink. He is not looking too good. Dark circles under his eyes and a general lack of maintenance in his fairly beaten up chain armor that he still wears.
Nice. Okay, so we go back to the bookshop. It's empty except for two figures. The bookshop's owner, a woman by the name of Naomi Pendergast, and a magicist deep in his books. It is getting near to night, and the nebula lamps outside the shop cast light over the cobbled street. Raucous singing can be heard from the nearby tavern, while the dank smell of Osterbile permeates the air. The bookseller and self-proclaimed medium has agreed to let you use her little shop as the meeting place for the expedition. In a beautiful black flowing dress, she busies herself with the shop while candlelight flickers and dances, casting shadows over the dusty shelves. Before you is outstretched a map, a copy of a much rougher map taken from a notebook. Beside it is another map, newer and more detailed, showing the peninsula in beautiful detail. You have clearly marked a spot deep within the mountains to the north, and beside you is a bundle of notes tied up with string. These are the notes of your mentor. Officially, the university believes that they went mad searching for what they claim to be a brand new energy source. It was their belief that places of power such as ritual sites and those that have experienced so-called supernatural phenomena had within them innate energy which could, with the right equipment, could be harnessed and may even surpass the yield of something like flux. Of course, this claim was met with much skepticism throughout the Magianist community, seen as superstition rather than magiance, but your mentor became obsessed with that idea. There are, however, a few ambiguities that make the expedition rather troublesome. First, very few notes are written about the actual site that was chosen for what was supposed to be the first of many tests. The few notes you have leave you only with the clue that this first test would be done at a site older than the Three Kingdoms. And then an even more vague note that simply states the bridge between life and death. Secondly,
yes, that's clearly marked on the map right
Yeah.
here.
yeah. Secondly, while the notes and the map drawn by your mentor give you a rough area, you don't know exactly where you are looking for, or indeed the exact location. The only clue left behind is the words, "The village holds the secret." Okay, so yes, Naomi Pendergast is currently busy as hell for the books. Now and again, she comes over and kind of like inspects like what you're kind of doing at the table and kind of looks over.
Just searching again.
Uh, so, getting any headway with this?
I'm afraid the riddle hasn't changed, so the answer is still, I'm afraid not.
That that sentence, the bridge between life and death, like the only thing I can think of that is even close to that is, well, someone like me, someone that would talk to spirits. They're usually called the bridge between life and death. But obviously, that's not what that means.
Right, this has to be a physical location, of course, and unless there's a small village called Life and another one close by called Death, I can't imagine where it could possibly be. Unless there's some structure there that's just not on the map. Who would put it there?
And as it mentions there, you're looking for a place of like extraordinary supernatural phenomena. Now that's quite interesting because a nobleman came in about 2 weeks ago and purchased a book about this kind of thing.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's quite adamant about that particular book as well.
I don't suppose you happen to have a copy.
No, it was the only one we had.
Of course, just my luck. Well, I guess the simplest thing, at least, though, is that there is a village that's supposed to be here. Apparently, it's the key. So there has to be at least one on the map around this area in the mountains. Is there actually one on the map? Is my question.
Yeah, so like key villages are on the map, but there are numerous little villages that like people have never
There's
heard
a
about.
village like every 2 miles,
Yeah,
probably.
the places that people have never heard about that are kind of like tucked into the mountains and like
Hmm.
away. So it's probably something more like that than like say Melwan or something like that. Yeah, so she goes back to what she's doing and yeah, trying to puzzle
Hmm.
more about what this could possibly be. So yeah, we now cut to a lavish study. A book is opened on the desk, and various notes tucked into pages. Julius, for the past few weeks, you've been researching this book.
Hmm.
A certain book that was purchased from an occult bookshop, trying to learn its secrets. Uh, yeah, less of a curiosity now, more of an obsession. You've become like obsessed with stories of Clanmarrock Manor, a mansion hidden somewhere high in the mountains that's said to have some rather extreme supernatural phenomena. None of these are more exciting than the story of the Lady in Red. Supposedly, just to hear a voice, her song is to go mad, and any who have actually glimpsed her are said to have died within a week.
Hmm.
There are many rumors and stories about Clanmarrock. Stories of dark occultism, pacts with dark beings, and even ritual sacrifice. You can only imagine the occult knowledge in those halls. And it is also said that there is a great curse put upon the manor, and that spirits walk the hallways. For quite a few years, the location of the manor has been a mystery to you, up there in the mountains. It's almost as if it's there one day and gone the next, appearing only to claim another victim before vanishing again. However, you've met with someone that claims they have been there. someone that escaped the manor with their lives, and after exchange with dowels, drew you up a map. So at the moment you're in your study, your butler's there, just kind of waiting for the word of anything that you want at the moment, like a drink or anything. But also knowing that it's probably best just to leave you to your papers.
Chauncey, would you kind of bring me a top off the whiskey? Thank you.
Yes, of course, sir. And he comes over and pours you whiskey.
Thank you. You might. I've been keeping here too much long. Go ahead. You can retire for now. Take some rest. You've
Thank
earned
you,
it.
sir. And he bows as he leaves.
I say all this without even turning my back to him. It's just, it's like. I need to find out more about this. I have to go back to the shop then. No. And because I'm so obsessed, I don't even wait and see if they're open. I just take all the notes, stuff them in my own notebook, close the book, and just stuff the notebook underneath, and I just go on to the night. It's like, Chauncey, I'll be out now.
Of course, sir. We'll lock up after you.
I just barrel down the street because, of course, I have to do this. Doesn't matter who's around me. I sort of go. If somebody's near me, I just sort of go around and go, "Excuse me," just you probably hear my footfalls before you actually see me because it's so loud because I'm just so intent on going there. So how far away is the bookshop?
Okay, so you would be up in what is called Upper Osterbile. You would have to go either down a very long staircase. In fact, let's have a look at the map. Because this is quite an interesting city. So here it is. Yeah, you would be in these upper districts.
Oh boy, this is a point where the camera just pans back, shows us the entire thing as you barely move inch to inch, frame by frame, as dramatic music swells.
I realizing once I realized I'd taken like I don't know 200 or 300 steps. It was like right, take a while. Is there anyone? They have like palanquins here, or similar carriages and the like.
They probably do. Like the best way to get about is like there's elevators that will take you down to lower thing, but I think they'll get you as far as the elevator. As for getting around lower with that, it's more likely to be mugged and robbed.
So is the shop down here?
Yeah, it's actually near the docks, so you're probably talking about it's probably around here-ish. So you're probably coming from this kind of let's have a look. You're probably coming from one of these communities up here. So it's a fair travel. And then you'd pass over the bridge, seeing that yawning chasm below. And I'm guessing you don't frequent lower that often.
No.
But
he's not in the nighttime, definitely.
No. So lower in the day is, it's quite nice. It's a load of farmers and people from around the mountains that come there. Low at night takes on a different form. There's a lot of muggers and thieves about. And then there's the strange noises that come from the sewers that nobody talks about.
Yeah, being stubborn as I am, I go all the way down here, and I find basically an inn or another flop house or something. It was like stay here tonight and wait in the morning and just go in. Right? It's just again, I'm just sort of single-minded and going like, yes, I must go to this place.
Yeah, you find a pretty lavish inn that's like used for like the rich travelers that come into the city. And they put you up for the night.
One room, just a bed. That's it. And a bath will be drawn in the morning. Thank you. And again, I just go I don't even wait for them to go like, "Oh, the keys." It's like,
Yeah, you just get the key and then just.
yeah.
Great. Okay.
And I go there, but I keep pacing. It takes me a while. I mean, literally, I pace myself to sleep. Basically, I just sort of like eventually sit down and like, what the? I do the Cyberpunk 2077 sleep was like this. Like half my body is out of the bed. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, as you eventually pass out and go to sleep, we then move to a hovel just outside of the vast city of Osterbile. Here, a ragged figure clutches a bloody note, examining it under the flickering candlelight. You received this note just a few days ago. A young Varigal arrived in the night, a wound in her side, clutching the note as if her life depended on it. She lays there sleeping in your home, but managed to pass on the warning before she eventually passed out. Dark things are afoot in Tau KYR, and apparently a new cult of Morkyle has surfaced, calling themselves the Shadow Council, and claiming that their way is the true way. It seems this cult has much influence, as indeed even infiltrated the council. And the Varigal claims that the very forest came alive to hunt them, as they fought to bring the message to you. This is why you were chosen. You are lesser known among your peers, but deemed trustworthy enough and gifted enough to hunt this Dark Council of Morkyle down without, drawing too many eyes. Your only clue to their location is a sighting of robed figures matching the description that you've been given, that have been seen in a remote village in the mountains. Supposedly, some of their number meet in a place of great corruption, where even the Smaus are absent. The Smaus are the nature spirits.
I do think it's kind of funny, but I can't read, and I'm examining a note.
Yeah,
Vargo had to have told me everything, and I'm staring at the note.
It's got pictures.
Do I recognize my own name?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, she read it
Somebody
to
come
you.
by and read it to you.
Oh, the Varigal
Quietly
will.
leave.
And then, the Varigal's name is Celia. Her clothes are torn. She's bloodied and battered, with long rusty coloured hair and wincing as she kind of holds her side. So eventually, she's come around, and she's got that shiver of someone that's, maybe close to death. And she says, I do not envy you going out there. I swear the trees themselves were trying to hold me, reaching you.
I imagine that is an ill portent. If nature itself holds us back.
I need to get to the Varigal Guild in the city, but I'm afraid I don't have much strength. Do you know the city well? Can you take me to the guild? It's next to this strange little bookshop.
I can make the attempt, yes. Here, over the shoulder.
Yeah. And then yeah, this cuts to the scene that we saw before of you kind of leading her through the streets. Finally, we meet a mercenary in a rough-looking inn at the port of Lower Osterbiel. It's filled with laughter and song, and the smell of cooked meat and ale fills the air. The laughter dies out as a powerful-looking figure steps into the room, followed by two men clutching swords. You know this man as Ronan, something of a smuggler and bandit in these slums. He sets his eyes upon you, and his men follow, blades in their hand. Right there. There he is. Oi, you! You owe me money. A lot of money, you bastard.
What? He's gonna cough a little bit. Listen, that is just not true. I have paid my debts. I am sure of it. And as he's saying that, he's moving his hand towards the crossbow on his lap.
Yeah, they look about to start a fight, and the innkeeper, kind of a broad-built lass with blonde braided hair. You know her as Herva. She owns the place. Says, Ronan, you'll not be causing trouble in my inn. Get out now, or I'll call a guard upon you. And he kind of like laughs and says, what are you going to do? They don't care about us. No, it's just us dogs down here snapping and gnawing at each other over table scraps. Now, you best be handing over your dowels, or it'll be your body they'll find in the sewer tomorrow.
Oh. You heard the lady. Get out. I'm sure you can mug me on my way back to my room.
Herva like kind of moves forwards and kind of steps between you and Ronan and says, "Right, he's got a job coming up, ain't you? You've got a job coming up."
Yes, I do. I don't know when I'll be back though.
Look, I'll pay his due, and he'll just owe me when he comes back. So how much does he owe? How much do you owe?
Probably around 20 azure.
Okay, yeah. So she pays it, and Ronan kind of like counts it, slips it onto the rope because he got the hole, and then just kind of like ties it off and says, "Right, well that's settled. Now, you best be keeping in me good books, or I'll be back." And he kind of like steps back out.
Oh, at this point, Alfie's probably gonna watch him go, watch the door close, and turn to her and go like, "I appreciate it, but it was mostly about not giving him the satisfaction." And he reaches into his purse and he immediately gives her 20.
She takes it as a, "Oh well, thank you, but you are looking for a job, right?"
Yes, I just don't like being in debt. No offense, of course, nothing about you personally. I mean,
Of course. Well, I've heard of this job. It's a bit of a strange one. They need protection going up to the mountains to go and investigate some ruins or something. And then she gives you like the location of the bookshop, and it's not that far from you. And she says that they're looking for people there. If you want to make some easy money.
well, I appreciate the tip, and I appreciate you shooing those dogs out of your pub. But and he's going to flip her an ember for her troubles, and he's going to drain the last of his flagons, stand up, shoulders big pack, sling his square shield over his back as well, and head out the door.
Okay. So, but now, we'll say that there's two of you kind of waiting outside the bookshop. Basically, while Pendergast is okay with the expedition being kind of housed out there, she doesn't want it during, like, opening hours. So they kind of waited until the bookshop closed, and then kind of she looks out, sees a few people outside, and she kind of like opens the door. So I'm gonna say it's probably Julius and we'll say the mercenary as well. Yeah, they're probably the first that could arrive there because we've got someone going to the Varigo Guild on the other side. Cool. Okay, so yeah, what is Simon up to at this moment?
Simon's probably taking another seat back. He's He's crossing his arms. He's looking across the map and going, "Bridge between life and death. No, what about and just constantly muttering to himself. Slowly reaches out, like takes like a glass of some sort of alcohol he's brought with him. Looks up and sees two people coming. Like, hello.
Okay, who's entering first?
I barrel through, right? It's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
It's like, hello.
After you, my lord.
Yeah, just the nobleman just pushes the mercenary away.
Morning, then.
And at this point, we've already arranged. We've already met at least slightly, and that's why we're here together for this expedition, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know him by name. It's like, Julius, it's good to see you. Come, sit down. I have a drink.
Right. I just need to get a copy of Timbora. I'll be right back with you.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
And he'll like look over to the other friend. You are Alti?
Alfie.
Alfie.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Sorry about
Sit down. He doesn't want his drink yet, so you can have the first.
Well, don't mind if I do. Sorry about my current presentation.
Already, but
It's been a bit of rough living. He's gonna sit down and he's gonna start draining it, disturbingly quickly. Now, I don't believe we got to the subject of payment.
Oh, well, of course. Well, we can arrange a proper fee. You see, I have plenty of money, and once I get the grant from the university, it should just be a matter of time.
University grant, huh? All right.
Yes, they already gave me a forward of about 40 azure, which I've already spent on equipment, packaging, and other such things.
That's some equipment. Hope it's not too fragile. Going in the mountains is pretty tough.
Oh, I'm sure the world will break first before any of it.
Mhm.
It's all good quality.
Yes, of course.
But I've planned you'll definitely be taken care of while we're out there. And when we get back, the payment will be sent to you immediately.
Very well. Then my
I do, of
boat's
course,
at
have
your
a
service.
contract here as well, and he'll go ahead and like pull out like a sheet of paper and like slide it over to you.
He's gonna
This is, of course, against indemnities and in case of death, especially mine. You know that the university will know who is to be paid on your return.
he's gonna look down at it. He hums and haws a little bit, and then he's gonna say, I prefer a different kind of contract. And he tugs and pulls off his glove, spits on his hand, and holds it out.
And he'll go ahead, he'll reach into like his coat pocket, pull out a handkerchief, and then go for the shake.
He looks like he's about to protest, but then you probably figure that you won't do it normally, so he just.
I would still prefer, of course, you sign just so the university knows your name.
He kind of shrugs. He takes the quill that's there, and he scratches a little 6-pointed pictogram on it, and then a crude crossbow symbol, and he just taps it out, puts it back in the ink pot. There you go.
It's unique. It's identifying, at least. Good. And he'll take it. He'll start folding it up, and he'll just like put it into the briefcase.
Nice. So Julius wanted to investigate something within the in the bookshop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just following up one of the notes, and it's like, yes, I have the other book, but the Timbora, you have a copy of it, right?
She says no. Like you have the only copy of the book.
No. I mean, it was another book that he's used for reference. It's like,
Oh yeah. That was some notes from his mentor.
Oh, well then. Of course. Where was that fellow over there? Yes, Simon, I think his name is. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's just never mind. It's not important. Good day. And I turn around and say, Baxter, right? Correct, right? And I come from behind, so I come from the shop. It's like, and it's like
Oh. You
Baxter.
look around. Oh, forget there's a door over there. Oh, yes, Baxter. And you were Mr. Amon, right? Yes, of course.
Of the amounts, yes.
Yes.
And I put my book down, and it's like something about going north. Then, right?
Yes, I have the path right here. If you take a look at the map right here.
Right.
I would have done more research and maybe it could be more precise, but the storekeeper here already told me the last book that I needed has already been purchased. Someone's already lifted it away.
And I take another cigarette, light it.
If only
And
I
I-
could find a copy of and he names like exactly the book that he set down the
The
table. If
book.
only I could find
Yeah.
one somewhere.
And he had to not only pushes in, like, yes, yeah. You can have her go on. It's like, and he starts looking at the coordinates. Like, oh, we're going in here.
Well then.
Perhaps. And he takes a note and compares the last
And
sightings
he'll
of
go
the
ahead and
manor.
like, pass you like his mentor's notes for you to like go over the riddle. It's like,
Yeah.
and silently, without even like talking about it, we just start coordinating on the riddle.
Oh, yeah, that could be. Oh, if it's a physical place, it must
No,
be a
I've already
cemetery.
crossed that one out. Take a look.
No. I mean, symbolically, place of life and death. That means a cemetery, a burial
I
ground.
suppose.
I mean, that's.
But we'd have to
where
ask
you-
every single village along the way.
Oh, well, true, but looking for a specific burial ground of some sort, and all the villages have one or two, an ancient one, really.
I'm picturing it
so-
now. Hello, we're from out of town. Where are your dead parents?
Well, that could be
Where
a
do
bit
you keep your dead?
crass. Oh no, it's just more like legends about ancient burial grounds. That's
Oh, well,
bit of
even
level,
easier.
right?
Everyone knows about where the ancients are buried, of course.
Stones and the like, that sort of thing. No, who would build a banner around that?
All right. Well, I have my missing piece, and I have the map, and we're definitely going over it for as long as we can, and confusing Alfie as much as possible.
Yes. He looks like he's trying to figure out what's going on for about 5 minutes. And then he just kind of zones out and he starts looking at all the pretty spines of the books all around here.
Eventually, like I just like pass you like the whole rest of the bottle I have, just to keep you
Oh.
entertained.
And he starts looking for an ashtray. It's like, do you have an ashtray by any chance?
She kind of rushes over with an ashtray. It's like just puts it in front of me.
And he, peripherally is like, oh, thank you, my lady. And he just puts before he puts it out, he puts another cigarette. Waste of matches.
Dreadful. You should stick to the opium pipe. Much cleaner.
It makes me too moody. It's just, I need my concentration.
Okay,
So he keeps, he listens to what people are doing, and he's aware, but he's very much, it's splitting. 80% is on the notes, 20% is everything else, right? That's how his mind has been,
Yeah.
And he's sort of that's a fellow you hired to, do the back.
Doesn't even say hello.
Hello.
Sorry,
Okay, so
I couldn't bring my butler, so that's the thing. Yeah.
next door, we have the moorhen and the variable stumbling into one of the variable like headquarters for this for Osterbile. They're immediately met. You're immediately met by a young male variable who's looks like he's probably just finished his training and just become a member of the guild, and is probably there as kind of the secretary. Sees like the bloody girl and he goes, "Oh, Celia, what happened?" And Celia just lets out a groan. She's beyond talking at the moment.
She appears to be beyond talking at the moment.
So yeah, he goes, well, yeah, I'll take her to the others. They should be able to patch her up. I'm guessing the fee is paid, and Celia just kind of nods. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, and he just kind of like ushers her out.
Very well. Are we done here then?
Oh, yeah, that's all he needs. It seems like the payment's been made.
Sorry, I never know exactly how to leave a room.
No, that's sure. It's kind of like, well, you just use the door, and then just kind of leaves with the others.
Yeah, somewhere in the background, I'm sarcastically, "Oh, a door. Oh, okay, a door. Is that what they're for? A door? A door? A door?"
And yeah, as you're leaving to pass, like you notice the note in the window of the shop, and
Again, can't read.
all right, yeah,
There's a picture of a big mountain
Elaborately
and
pictured,
then
yeah.
money.
It's a coin
There's
with a
like
hole
two
in the
big
middle.
dollar signs written on top of it.
I mean, if you needed labor for your expedition, right? And you got to understand that a lot of people don't read. You got
yeah.
a
So
note would be like the most high class way to get people, but you also have to have some sort of, lowball and recognizable way to advertise.
yeah, so as you kind of passing by, there's there's someone standing outside the shop and says, "Oh, hello, sir. I believe inside they are looking for. Well, you look like you're kind of versed in nature and in the ways of the land. Um, they're looking for a guide to take them up into the mountains, and I believe it pays pretty well."
Mud covered torn up rags.
Yeah, looks like he's one with nature.
Oh yeah, it looks
You're
like
you're talking to
a
me.
forest.
You're talking to me, and I have to make a 110-degree turn because eye patch. What?
We've seen the peasants around here. They are nearly as bad off as you.
Yeah, because it's the whole Avengers scene, right? Well, how does he tell what's going on the right-hand side? Well, he turns.
And then he just kind of
Sorry,
like,
what was that?
yeah, though, you're looking for work. Well, and he just kind of like gestured. It looks like you need money. And well, they're looking for work inside, and they need a guide. And if I'm to be blunt, it looks like you know the ways of the forest. You're saying, not trying to say, you're a scruffy hobo that
Right,
lives in the
not to
forest.
cast aspersions on people, right? Be ashamed to do that.
He says, so if you want, I can introduce you to the expedition leader. Um, and kind of
Sure,
like gestures.
lead the way.
Yeah, so you've basically Simon has hired this guy to kind of like grab people off the street that look like they might be pretty
Yeah, he's Simon's
useful.
teamster.
Yeah. And he like ushers this guy, this ragged man with an eye patch covered in mud. Pendergast kind of leaps up from her chair and is like, "What?" Kind of as mud is being tracked into a shop. And yeah, he steps forwards and says, "I believe you were looking for a guide for the mountains, and well, he looks pretty good."
Are you certain about that? Good is the last word I would have said looking at this gentleman. No offense, but you look positively dreadful, sir.
Smells
Well-
like it too, but no, you can't be beggars can't be choosers.
They certainly can. You can choose death over, humility.
I suppose one always has their dignity, yes.
I mean, if you'd like to test me out, we could go. And
Well, I
I
have
do
a
this little thing where
simpler
I bow
test.
my head a little bit to give you like a sinister look with one eye. We could go out in the woods for a little bit if you want to test me out.
I don't think that'll be necessary.
Well, if I may, just a simple test. I do have a question, of course. If you see this map right here, do you know the pathway between here and here? Do you know this area? And he gives you like a series of questions just to test what you know, or if you've even been out there.
Yeah, so when you look at that map, you immediately kind of the circle that they've kind of drawn as kind of being the rough area seems to correlate with the rough area that the cult has been sighted in. You know that the roads up to it lead up to the let's get to the map actually. So you can actually see. So there is a main road. Out of Osmayal, you're going to be passing through Mudan and then going through Admonach. The location seems to be just past the monastery of Tuath, which is unfortunately quite close to the border of Guidre. So,
Can you
and
ping
it's
where we're looking at here?
Hold on, no,
Just to be
don't move the
precise.
map around. I'm just gonna do this little thing
Yeah.
right here so that I can.
Over there.
Shit, I lost myself. Where am I going? Oh, yeah. I've just crossed a road, but whatever. There we go.
so that is kind of the path you're going to be taking.
Look at me, I'm
and
already
it-
guiding you.
Yeah.
you know that it's even though it's a main road, it's fairly treacherous, and that it's overgrown, and you're going to be going through the mountains. They're going to need a proper someone that knows the lay of the land. And
Right.
yeah, you've been there before, around that kind of area. You haven't been to the monastery too, because that would be death sentence, but because that's right on the border of Guidre,
Mhm.
you've been around that kind of area before, and you know it well.
Perfect. If you
Yeah.
know all of this, then I have no problems in hiring you, of course.
How
If you're
much?
willing. Well, I have a contract right here, and it'll be. So,
Oh, I'm gonna
I
need
don't
you
know
to
this
read
world's
out everything on the
economics.
contract.
I don't know how much the university might give me and how much I can pretend to offer these people. I think that's a GM question. How much do I have to offer these people?
Okay, so as mentioned, the university thinks this is hokum. They think it's okay.
Right,
So
which is why I probably said, I just want to do the trip and I'll come back.
I mean,
Bare
a
minimum.
bar owner certainly thought Alfie was gonna get paid at least 20 a share.
But if I came back and I asked for a grant to do research on stuff I may have actually found, what could I, as a researcher, tell people that I'll get?
right. Okay, let's have a look at professions. Okay.
Oh, right. There's that weekly payment thing.
I mean, it might not
Yeah.
matter to y'all, but remember, I'm poor. I have nothing. So literally anything is
Anybody?
important. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I now have considerably less.
You say that. I started with rags and a
Yes.
weapon. So
Yes.
Okay,
you paid somebody 20 azure.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's
20
a lot of money.
times. Yeah, that's 20 times more than I have.
Settle my debt.
Okay, so let's say that it would be roughly the equivalent of 50 days wage out of a scholarly pursuit. I'm saying probably about 100 Azure is what you might get.
Okay, so I could probably go around and promise people like 20 to 25 then.
Yeah, it's ambitious because they do think
Yeah,
like their stand for
I'll
this
lowball
is
it.
another idiot's gone up there. They're just all shaking their heads.
All I need to do is follow up. All I need to do is make certain. That's it. That's it. I promise.
But you do
Hand
know,
back.
that like if this is true and that there is a new kind of energy source that is off
Mhm.
like spiritual energy. Oh my god, the money that you would make.
Oh, immense amounts. But I'm planning for failure here, so I'll look at this new gentleman and go, I can promise you 20 Azure dowels, and I'll forward you one of them right now if you want to go get a good night's rest, clean yourself up, and get yourself out of those rags.
Since I didn't have to look at this before, since again poor, Azure is what in the domination scheme?
It's the highest. It's like 10, 10, 10. So.
Oh, isn't it?
So it's 10 embers.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, yeah. So no,
Yeah,
it's not high. It's Frost Owl is the next one.
okay.
Yeah, it's in the
So
middle.
it's 100. Then equal 100 Ember Dowels equals 10 Azure Dowels, which equals 1 Frost Owl. Yeah, so 10.
Any chance we could up that to 5?
5? Right now.
5 now, 20 later.
Well, it would be 15 later.
What did?
You see, 20 minus 5 is... never mind. I'll forward it to you if you think that you need the necessary equipment.
I mean, I'd probably do
And
one
I
of
will go
those like
ahead.
huffy little motions, like what you see is what you get. Like,
It is for equipment, right? And he'll just pass it like across the table. There's 5.
Just pay the man already.
what are those Woodhouse moments? If you spend this on drugs, make sure you get enough to overdose. Okay.
Meanwhile, yeah. Meanwhile, Simon just like probably in his head, just like looking over to Julius, is like, I hope he has more money than I do right now.
And I look at you
exactly
dead
right,
in the
look at-
eye and say nothing.
Yeah,
No.
I'm not even saying that part out loud.
Yeah, you're just a scientist. He's like a proper noble.
All right. So a bath is a 3. Sorry. Go ahead. Just imagine I'm run back
did you
off
say
and
that
then-
out
Yeah.
loud?
So he's just left
Did you-
Be
going
back, he'll
to
be back.
No, but did he say something about the bath out loud?
Yeah, probably. That
Well,
probably,
it's,
probably you gave me like the 5. You gave me the 5 as rule downs, and I'm probably like looking down at my hand, like, okay, a bath is.
Sir, do not spend good coin. Simple cleanup duty. I can arrange that for you.
I don't think I want you bathing me.
I will not do so. But it will I will not do the bathing, of course, but I do know someone who can. Be very thorough. The ladies at the northern bathhouse, they're very good.
Where did you think I was going?
But not spending money. Just tell them that Mr. Naman is sending you. They'll take care of you. They waste money on just basic necessities like that. And he goes back to whatever.
Yeah, probably again the crooked head look, because I'm looking at you with the one eye. Okay, you weirdo. Not saying it out loud, but the look conveys. As I rush back out into the night.
Nice. Okay. So, any preparations you want to make now before you head out on your travels, you can do right
Well,
now.
literally, this is my first moment to shop for anything.
Yeah.
Where do you even track money on this sheet?
I guess my general question would be, should I go ahead and personally buy some things, or should I assume that some grant money has been set aside for basic supplies
Um,
for the traveling?
you have no grant. They think
Okay.
this is crazy.
Okay, I've lied to everyone. I've literally just been saving up for 2 months for this.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing like rations, I don't think.
I do like the idea. I'm gonna hire a Vargil for this trip.
I mean,
That would be funny.
if you're looking for traveling food, I mean, and Alfred's gonna kind of reach into his bag. He's gonna root around. He's gonna pull out a couple of very hard-looking biscuits. This is what you're
Yeah.
looking forward to.
Bread and biscuits.
Yeah.
Use the measurement, amount for 1 day. Yeah, those are like the cheapest thing on the list. So just a
I mean-
bunch of bread and biscuits.
If you dunk it in some water, you might not chip a tooth, so it's not that bad.
And how many days travel is this expected to be?
Okay, so let's have a look at the map.
This is actually the first time I've had this information.
Cool. Right.
At least 100 miles.
So there is actually travel rules. Where are they? Traveling, cool, right. Okay, so it says per hour you can travel 3 foot on flat land. No, not 3 foot. 3 miles on flat land in an hour. So but that like drops as you get into like rougher terrain.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a fair trek. I was about to do that on that. Right, cool. So,
Question about buying stuff.
yep, sure.
Rare stuff. What do I need to do? Specifically,
can
just RA quality items.
Okay, so you can have up to 3 rare items.
Okay, there's no problem just going out and finding them or buying them. Since this isn't technically character creation, this is actually
this
going
isn't
out
technically character
Yeah.
creation. Right, it depends on what you're looking for, and I'll tell you how easy it is to get.
just to read Curious, just armor.
Right. To get that, you would have to go into upper and go into the artisan's quarter. They're not going to let you into upper.
Okay.
They're gonna take one look at you in your messy clothes. Go.
Alright, got it. It's just that I pay 3 times the amount for the common version. That's the only reason I was looking at it. Alright.
Okay.
Studded leather it is.
To hit. Right. Oop. All right. If we're talking about resting at the next closest village and then restocking there, we're talking at 8, 11,
Mhm.
14. That's probably a day travel to Mudan, maybe.
Okay, so we got like a day to maybe 3 or 4. So probably about 8 of travel. And
Ugh.
between 4 people, 8, 16, 24, 32 minimum. And I could get 5 times 5. I can get 25. I can afford to feed us for like 2/3 of the trip after paying 5 to our new friend.
Well, I've got some supplies of my own.
All right. So, assuming we buy supplies along the way and have some, I'm going to go ahead and put down loads of biscuits. 25 days worth
Oh,
is what I've budgeted.
Plenty of biscuits.
Yep. 816. So I can handle at least 3 of us for the entirety of just traveling.